We've all heard about the Saudi royals, the house worth a staggering $1.4 trillion. And although it may not receive much attention, this family enjoys so many luxuries that it is even difficult to fathom it. But what do the Saudi royals spend their money on? And what does their life look like in reality? Before we start the video and explore this, kindly subscribe to the channel. The state-owned oil company Aramco, the second largest crude oil reserve in the world, is the source of the Saudi royal family's unending wealth. And although thousands of members of the royal family share the interminable wealth, the House of Saud can still freely spend. They travel lavishly, live in magnificent castles, and have more than we can ever imagine. We all like to live in the best of residence, and the royal family is also no exception. However, most of the opulent and lavish mansions of the Saudi royal family make even Versailles and Buckingham Palace look simple and modest. The richest royal dynasty in the world is the owner of dozens of opulent mansions all around the world. There are 12 royal palaces in Saudi Arabia alone. However, among these, the most prominent ones are the Al Yamamah Palace and the Al Alja Palace. The Al Yamamah serves the monarch as the royal court, as well as a working palace. The palace's exterior is modern and exquisite, with the typical Arabic design, but the interior is just something else. The inside is decorated with numerous grand chandeliers, plush carpets, antiques, and a staggering amount of gold. It's quite challenging to determine the value of this palace, but if one had to guess, it's in the hundreds of millions of dollars. The Al Alja Palace, which showcases traditional Saudi Arabian culture, comes next. Intricate sculptures and black and white images of Riyadh may be seen on the walls of this palace, and although there isn't as much gold here, the palace is still unquestionably precious because it is among the oldest on the planet. When even outside their country, the Saudis do not make any compromises on their living standards. They own several residences around the world, and one example is the Chateau Louis XIV in Lavish, on which Mohammed bin Salman, the anticipated successor to the Saudi monarchy, splashed approximately $300 million. Lying close to Versailles in France, the most expensive residence in the world, the 57-acre chateau includes 2 ballrooms, a squash court, a movie theater, 2 swimming pools, gold-covered doors and fixtures, a wine cellar that can house 3,000 bottles, magnificent frescoes, and an outdoor pool with a rain spout. Perhaps the most impressive is the underwater Mediterranean room that was constructed inside the castle's moat. It has a clear underwater chamber with fish, including sturgeon and koi. But what if the Saudi decided to go on vacation? As you might have guessed by now, they do even this in style. Several private jets are owned and used by the family, and the fleet includes Boeing 747-200S, 777-300S, 787-8S, Airbus A340-200S, and a 747-400, which is the star among all. The king has this royal aeroplane customized and turned into a hovering paradise. One of the biggest passenger planes in the world, the aviation beast has enough for more than 600 passengers. For obvious security concerns, there isn't an official video of the inside, but it is said to have a throne room, meeting rooms, restrooms, and gold bedrooms. Even without considering their price, the annual cost of operating all of these jets alone easily surpasses $100 million. However, when you are worth trillions, this is evident by the fact that despite having flown for only 42 hours in total, a unique private Boeing 747 that once belonged to the Saudi royal family may end up on a trash dump in the US. Sultan bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, ordered the eye-catching all-white 747-8 for a remarkable €235 million. However, he passed away in 2011, 1 year before the plane was scheduled to be delivered. After the passing of their former crown prince, no other member of the Saudi royal family chose to keep the enormous jet, and it was left in Switzerland for a decade, gathering dust and rust. It has now completed what could be its final journey to Pinal Air Park in Arizona, the United States, a known airplane boneyard where retired models go to be disassembled for scrap. With only 42 hours of flight time, the aircraft is practically brand new. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia is said to also own a super yacht, Serene, worth a mind-boggling $549 million. The 440-foot-long Serene was purchased by Prince Salman when he was on vacation in the south of France. According to reports, the prince noticed the opulent yacht off the coast and sent a personal assistant to go and purchase it from Russian vodka mogul Yuri Shelfler. Surprisingly, the purchase was completed in a matter of hours, and Shelfler left the yacht the same day. In addition to other amenities, it was rumored to contain 12 beds, a nightclub, a movie theater, 2 hot tubs, and a climbing wall. Being one of the largest superyachts in the world, this vessel was reportedly chartered by Bill and Melinda Gates for a vacation at an estimated cost of $5 million per week. The asset, nevertheless, had been criticized as being callous at a time when Saudi Arabia was about to make significant cuts to public spending and salaries in order to plug a growing budget deficit. Do you know what else the Saudi royals spent their wealth on? Their remarkable travel habits. When the monarchy visited Washington, D.C. in 2014 for a diplomatic mission, they reserved all 222 rooms at the opulent Four Seasons Hotel. The hotel was thereafter given a comprehensive makeover. They were instructed to transform all non-golden objects into gold. It was necessary to replace the tables, mirrors, lamps, and even the hat racks, all of which were made of gold and were transported from Saudi Arabia. In order to avoid having to touch the bare ground, the monarch also dictated that all the carpets in the hotel be changed to red. Additionally, plans were made to lay carpets in the lower parking lot. If you thought the 2014 trip was extravagant, just wait till you hear what happened in 2017 when the King of Saudi traveled on a number of diplomatic missions. Every trip was an act of extravagant luxury. The king traveled to Russia with a 1,500-person entourage, 1,760 pounds of food, his furniture, and his carpets. The monarch reserved the entire Ritz-Carlton and Four Seasons Hotel, and reservations for further visitors had to be canceled. Locals had to be even temporarily relocated. King Salman spent around $3 million on all of these reservations, but he didn't stop there. The family rented 200 vehicles, and by the end of his visit, they had spent an estimated $100 million. The royals' visit to Morocco was no different either. The Saudi king spent $100 million on an unknown 74-acre estate, one of the priciest residences in the nation. The remainder of the team stayed in 800 rooms at one of Morocco's priciest hotels during this time. When traveling to Tokyo, the royals understood there would likely be an issue carrying their humongous amounts of luggage. To overcome this, they rented a $14 million Lockheed C-130 Hercules aircraft from the Royal Netherlands Air Force. Then, in order to accommodate them, the Saudis reserved almost 1,200 rooms in some of the best hotels in Tokyo. They also ordered an additional 500 limousines for everyone's transportation. Would you like a life this luxurious? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This brings us to the end of this video. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing and sharing so we can keep bringing more content like this. See you next time.